The hype around Hazbin Hotel Season 2 has officially hit a boiling point. What started as whispers across fan forums has now turned into a tidal wave of leaked details, and they're coming from sources close to the production. According to multiple insiders, the trailer for Season 2 is not just completed, it's being timed for a surprise drop at one of the year's biggest pop culture events. And here's where things get wild. Not only does the trailer reportedly show glimpses of new areas in hell, but it also teases a major character arc for Alastor, the mysterious and charming radio demon whose past has remained sealed. Now, fans have been begging for more insight into Alastor's origin since the show began, and it looks like Season 2 will finally peel back the curtain. But why now? Why him? It all starts with a shift in power. Sources say Season 2 will take a much darker turn, diving deeper into the politics of hell, and with Vox stepping in as the new primary antagonist, it makes sense that we'll need to understand Alastor's past to grasp what's at stake. These aren't just flashy battles or quirky showdowns anymore. This is a war for control, and every character's backstory might hold the key to who wins. The leak hints at a major betrayal, a long-lost connection between Alastor and Lucifer, and an ancient deal that could break Hell's balance completely. Even more shocking, the supposed Season 2 arc isn't just standalone, it's said to lay the groundwork for Seasons 3 and 4. Vivi Pop, the show's creator, already confirmed at Comic-Con that the world building will expand significantly. But now, with this leak, we have a better idea of what that actually means. New kingdoms, strange rules of power, hidden alliances, and a history of rebellion all seem to be tied to the hotel's true purpose. Remember, Hazbin Hotel was never just a place for redemption, it was a ticking time bomb. And according to these leaks, Season 2 is when it explodes. What's even more exciting is how the cast and crew have been moving behind the scenes. Voice recordings began in early 2024, and that usually signals that animation and scoring are well underway. Insiders claim that most of the season is already animated, and that post-production is focused on final polishing and syncing to the musical score. Yes, the music is coming back in a huge way, with even darker, more theatrical numbers tied directly to Alastor and Vox. But perhaps the most thrilling part of the leak is what wasn't said. Because if the production is this far along, why haven't we seen the trailer yet? Why the silence? That's where speculation meets strategy. Prime Video is reportedly planning a major media push timed around a global event, possibly New York Comic-Con or a surprise fall showcase to catch the fandom off guard. It's smart marketing, but it's also a clue. Because if they're saving the reveal for maximum impact, that means Season 2 isn't far off. And fans might not be ready for how twisted this new chapter will be. After all, we're not just revisiting old characters, we're confronting who they used to be. And what they're willing to do next? Stay tuned, because in the next section, we'll dive into Alastor's leaked backstory, who he was before the radio demon, and why hell itself might fear the truth. Asterisk, until now, Alastor has been one of the greatest mysteries in Hazbin Hotel. We know him as the radio demon, an all-powerful being with a haunting smile, a love for chaos, and an unsettling sense of humor. But the leaks surrounding Season 2 have pulled back the curtain on his origin. And what lies beneath is far more terrifying than anyone expected. According to trusted sources tied to the production, Alastor's backstory will not only be explored, it will become the emotional core of the season. And that means the facade he's been wearing for so long is about to crack. Viewers might think they understand him, but the truth reveals a version of Alastor that's darker, sadder, and far more dangerous than we ever imagined. Long before he became the infamous radio demon of hell, Alastor was something else entirely. The leak claims that we'll get glimpses of his human life, a life marked by power, silence, and obsession. He wasn't born a monster, he became one. And that transformation, according to insiders, is linked to a betrayal so personal, it warped his very soul. The leaked script pages suggest that Alastor was a brilliant yet isolated figure in the mortal world, someone who turned to manipulation and control as a way to fight his loneliness. His fascination with radio broadcasting became a symbol of control, his voice echoing where his presence could not reach. But something snapped. Something happened that pushed him beyond redemption long before he ever set foot in hell. That tragedy, shrouded in secrecy, will finally be revealed this season. Season 2 won't just tell us what happened to Alastor. It will show us who he lost, what he sacrificed, and why he chose chaos over peace. But even more frightening is what this means for the present. Because Alastor's past isn't staying buried. The leak suggests that someone or something from his human life might resurface in hell, threatening his place at the top of the hierarchy. This ghost from the past could shatter his carefully constructed persona and push him into territory even he hasn't explored. That's not just good storytelling, that's a warning. The radio demon may no longer be in control, and that changes everything. Vivi Pop herself hinted at this during Comic-Con, when she mentioned how much she's been waiting to bring Alastor's past to life. She described it as something that's lived inside her for years, something she's been dying to canonize. And now, we know why. It's not just character development, it's the missing piece of the entire Hazbin Hotel puzzle. Once we understand Alastor's true origins, we'll start to see the entire show in a new light. His alliances, his games, even his interest in Charlie and her hotel, they all take on new meaning when we realize what's really motivating him. Redemption might be the goal of the hotel, but revenge might be the goal of the demon running. This shift is going to divide the fandom in the best way possible. Because once Alastor's story is out in the open, fans will be forced to choose, do they sympathize with him, or do they fear him? Is he the product of a cruel world, or is he a monster hiding behind charm and charisma? The leak hints at emotional moments unlike anything we've seen before, moments where Alastor's voice cracks, where his grin fades, where the mask falls. These aren't just brief flashbacks, they're full-blown story arcs that will span multiple episodes and tie directly into the greater battle for Hell's future. And it doesn't stop there. The leak also mentions a growing tension between Alastor and Vox, setting up one of the most anticipated confrontations in the entire series. This rivalry isn't just about power, it's personal. Vox represents everything Alastor despises: control through technology, mindless entertainment, and vanity. Where Alastor is theatrical and ancient, Vox is sleek, modern, and ruthless. Their eventual clash could be more than just a fight, it could be a war for the soul of Hell itself. And it all stems from Alastor's past. A past that's about to resurface in violent, unpredictable ways. So, if you thought Season 1 gave us a glimpse of Alastor's power, prepare yourself. Season 2 is set to reveal his vulnerability, and sometimes that's even more terrifying. Because when a demon like Alastor is wounded, he doesn't break, he burns everything around him. Stay with us, because in the next section, we'll dive deep into Vox's rise to power, what makes him the most dangerous villain yet, and how his presence threatens not just Alastor but the entire mission of the Hazbin Hotel. While fans have always been fascinated by Alastor, Season 2 of Hazbin Hotel is about to shift the spotlight to a new threat, Vox. According to recent leaks and insider speculation, Vox will not just be the primary antagonist in the second season, be the most dangerous force Hell has seen in centuries. But why him? And what does he truly want? The answer is far more twisted than you might expect. Vox isn't a villain in the traditional sense. He doesn't want to destroy the hotel for the sake of chaos. He wants to control Hell, rewire its structure, and dominate the minds and souls of its inhabitants through the very tools they use to escape their pain: media, screens, and sound. He's not just evil, he's efficient. And that makes him far more terrifying than anything we've seen before, from what the leaks have revealed. Vox has been building his empire behind the scenes, watching from the shadows while Charlie worked on her redemption project. But now, his patience has run out. He sees the hotel not as a threat, but as an opportunity. If he can corrupt it, reshape it, or take it over, he can twist the idea of redemption into something far more sinister. Imagine a hotel that claims to heal souls while quietly enslaving them to Vox's network of control. That's the nightmare Season 2 is hinting at. And based on what we've heard, it's already begun. Vox isn't attacking with brute force. He's using propaganda, influence, and digital corruption. Leaked script snippets mention screen sickness, a mysterious new affliction spreading through Hell that makes demons lose themselves in static voices and flashing lights. And guess who's behind it? This storyline opens the door for Hazbin Hotel to evolve into something even deeper: commentary on modern obsession, influence, and power. Vox represents the temptation of escapism, of giving in to entertainment instead of growth. In contrast, Charlie and her hotel represent healing, reflection, and hard-won change. It's no longer just a question of good versus evil. It's distraction versus redemption. And the stakes are climbing higher than ever. According to leaks, the hotel itself may begin to change under Vox's influence. With certain staff and guests falling under his spell, expect twists, expect betrayals. And don't be surprised if a familiar face switches sides. One of the most thrilling aspects of Vox's rise is his direct opposition to Alastor. These two characters couldn't be more different. While Alastor is ancient, theatrical, and driven, by deeply personal demons, Vox is sleek, cold, and profit-minded. He doesn't scream, he broadcasts. He doesn't kill, he converts. And yet, these two may be more alike than they realize. According to leak insiders, we'll explore the long history between them. There are hints that Vox and Alastor were once Alastor, at least had a shared goal, but something tore them apart. And that rupture is about to erupt into a full-blown war. This rivalry will be the emotional and dramatic backbone of Season 2. We're not just watching two powerful beings clash, we're watching ideologies collide. Alastor, for all his flaws, seems to respect the idea of individual transformation, even if he finds it amusing. Vox, on the other hand, wants to erase individuality, turning demons into consumers of his content, loyal only to him. It's a digital dictatorship hidden behind a smile and a glowing screen. And if the leaks are accurate, his reach is spreading fast. One scene reportedly shows entire blocks of hell consumed by his influence, with billboards, radios, and screens playing his voice nonstop. Hell isn't burning, it's buffering. And that might be even worse. Charlie, of course, will be caught in the middle of this power struggle. Her mission to help sinners find peace will become nearly impossible when Vox begins targeting her message directly. The leaks suggest that Vox will orchestrate a smear campaign against her hotel, painting it as dangerous, manipulative, and even cursed. He'll flood hell with false narratives, doctored footage, and seductive alternatives to her message. And for some residents of hell, his offer will be easier to accept. Why struggle for redemption when you can sit back, tune in, and forget? The terrifying genius of Vox's plan is that he's not forcing anyone. He's offering a choice, and many will take it. That moral dilemma is going to push Charlie and her friends to their limits. How do you fight a villain who doesn't need violence? How do you protect hope in a world where comfort is the true weapon? These are the questions Season 2 will explore. And by the sound of it, the answers won't come easily. But there's still one more twist. Leaks hint at a shocking connection between Vox and one of the hotel's main characters, possibly Husk or Angel Dust. This connection could redefine loyalties and unravel everything Charlie has built so far. And it's not just about the past. Vox's reach may extend into the future of Hell itself, with some sources suggesting he has plans to expand beyond Hell's current borders into new realms we haven't seen yet. So, if you thought Season 2 was just going to build on what we saw before, think again. It's evolving, expanding. And with Vox now in the spotlight, the tone of Hazbin Hotel may never be the same again. In the next section, we'll dive into the production secrets, release timeline, and how Season 2 is laying the groundwork for future seasons that will change everything. With all the chaos and suspense building in the storyline, you'd think the behind-the-scenes process of Hazbin Hotel Season 2 would be more predictable, but it's not. The production timeline for this highly anticipated season has been full of strategic moves, secretive progress, and even a few deliberate misleads to keep fans guessing. But now, thanks to several credible leaks and inside information, we can finally piece together what's really happening with the release of Season 2 and how Prime Video is preparing for one of its biggest animated launches yet. The silence has been deafening for months, and that silence is no accident. It's part of a calculated plan to catch fans completely off guard when the trailer drops. Because if what we've learned is true, Season 2 is much closer than anyone expected. Let's start with what we know. The cast began recording their dialogue in January 2024. This early start wasn't just a creative decision, it was a signal that production had entered a highly active phase. In most animated series, voice acting is one of the first major steps in bringing episodes to life. Once the lines are recorded, animators can begin syncing character movements, expressions, and sequences to the dialogue. And that's where Hazbin Hotel stands out. The show's animation isn't standard. It's intricate, layered, and full of vibrant color and fluid motion. Every scene is carefully designed to reflect not just the mood of the moment, but the personality of Hell itself. That kind of work takes time, unless you've already done it before. And here's the twist. Because Season 1's production pipeline is already in place and, thanks to its success, even optimized, it's very likely that the team was able to fast-track Season 2's development. Leaks suggest that by mid-2024, several episodes were already deep into post-production, with background scoring, editing, and visual effects nearing completion. If true, this means that while the public has been anxiously waiting for any sign of a trailer, the studio has quietly been finishing entire episodes behind the scenes. That silence wasn't due to delays, it was preparation for a reveal that's meant to break the internet. And it might be coming sooner than you think. Insiders believe that Prime Video is holding the trailer for a major event, either New York Comic-Con or a surprise drop during a streaming exclusive showcase. These platforms offer maximum impact, reaching global audiences instantly and creating a social media storm the moment the footage goes live. But why wait? Why not tease the trailer earlier, as most studios do? The answer is strategy. By withholding previews, Prime Video is building tension. Every day without an update increases demand. Every leak stirs conversation. And when the trailer finally arrives, it won't be a whisper, it'll be a roar. But it's not just about hype. The delay may also be tied to a broader rollout plan. According to some sources, Season 2 won't just continue the story, it will introduce a new structure of storytelling. Where Season 1 played out more like a character-driven musical drama, Season 2 is rumored to embrace serialized arcs that stretch across multiple episodes. This means tighter continuity, more cliffhangers, and deeper emotional payoff. And with that shift comes greater risk and greater reward. The trailer will need to reflect this evolution, teasing just enough of what's coming without giving away the biggest reveals. What can we expect from the trailer when it finally drops? If the leaks are even partially accurate, fans should brace themselves. We'll likely see glimpses of new realms in hell, eerie flashes of Alastor's human past, and intense confrontations between Charlie, Vox, and possibly Lucifer himself. Rumors suggest a new character will also be introduced, a mysterious figure tied to the deeper history of the hotel, whose presence may change the balance of power forever. Whether they're friend or foe remains unclear, but their inclusion in the trailer is said to be one of the biggest shocks. As for the release date itself, nothing is officially confirmed, but all signs point to early or mid-2025. Given the pace of production and how far along things seem to be, this timeframe makes sense. And the cast's involvement only fuels that speculation. Several voice actors have dropped subtle hints on social media, cryptic emojis, behind-the-scenes photos, or offhand comments in live. These may seem small, but they're part of a pattern. The team knows the fandom is watching, and these little breadcrumbs are their way of saying, it's coming. It's also worth noting that Vivi Pop and her creative team have been incredibly selective about what they reveal. That's not just to keep secrets, it's to protect the emotional weight of the story. If Season 2 is truly as dark, complex, and personal as the leaks suggest, then each reveal must be earned. That includes the trailer, the release date, and every detail in between. This isn't just another season, it's the beginning of a much larger narrative. One that, according to certain insiders, will stretch through Seasons 3 and 4, culminating in a climactic showdown that has already been outlined in the writer's room. So, the real question isn't if Season 2 is coming soon, it's how much it will change everything we thought we knew. Because when a show starts holding back this much, it usually means one thing: something huge is about to happen. In the next and final section, we'll talk about the future of Hazbin Hotel, how Season 2 is building towards something even bigger, what fans should expect in Seasons 3 and 4, and why this series might be on its way to becoming one of the most ambitious animated projects of our time. As explosive as Season 2 of Hazbin Hotel promises to be, it's becoming clear that this next chapter isn't just the continuation of Charlie's mission or Alastor's origin, it's the launchpad for something far bigger, something darker, and far more complex than anyone predicted back when the pilot dropped in 2019. Multiple leaks and comments from the creative team have confirmed one thing: Season 2 is laying the foundation for a sweeping multi-season arc that could stretch through Season 4 and possibly beyond. That's not just big, it's ambitious. And for a series set in hell, the emotional descent we're about to witness may be the most unforgettable journey in adult animation today. Vivi Pop herself hinted at this long-form storytelling during Comic-Con, revealing that the structure of Hazbin Hotel was never meant to be one season at a time. She always envisioned this series as a continuous descent into the mythology, politics, and broken souls that make up hell. And Season 2 is just the threshold. The leaks confirm this. Several plot threads being introduced, like Vox's silent empire, Alastor's tragic past, and Charlie's internal battle to maintain hope, are not meant to be resolved quickly. Instead, they stretch into the next phases of the show, slowly weaving together into something much larger than a redemption arc. This is about control, about legacy, about whether a place like hell can ever truly change, or, if change always comes with a price. One of the most significant things Season 2 reportedly sets up is the war between old demons and new powers. The conflict between Alastor and Vox is just the beginning. Behind them lies a much deeper network of entities, some of whom have not yet been introduced. The leaks suggest that there are ancient forces in Hell, long forgotten or hidden, that will begin to stir as power shifts and alliances crumble. Think of it as Hell's version of a Cold War one, where every smile hides a knife and every song carries a threat. These entities don't care about Charlie's hotel. In fact, they see it as an anomaly, a threat to Hell's very purpose. And when redemption begins to spread, they move. Slowly, quietly, until it's too late to stop them. What this means is that Charlie's mission is more fragile than ever. Season 2 will likely push her to her absolute limit, forcing her to make decisions that go against her core beliefs. The leaks hint at a personal failure, something devastating that shakes her faith in what she's doing. A soul she can't save, a betrayal she didn't see coming. And as her ideals begin to crack, others will begin to question the hotel's purpose. Some will leave, some will turn, and some will begin plotting against her from within. If Season 1 was about building the dream, Season 2 is about testing it with fire. And by the time we get to Season 3, it might be barely standing. There's also strong speculation that Season 3 will introduce Hell's Outer Rings regions. We've never seen governed by laws and lords far different from the ones in the Pride Ring. These areas, reportedly hinted at in background designs and character dialogue, will expand the universe and introduce new threats. And not all of them will be demons. The leaks have dropped one cryptic phrase over and over. The first fallen, no one knows what it means. But fan theories have run wild, speculating that we may finally meet the original sinner, the first being ever cast into Hell. Whether that figure is an enemy, an ally, or something in between, one thing is certain. The mythology of Hazbin Hotel is about to get a lot deeper, and possibly a lot more terrifying. Meanwhile, Alastor's journey doesn't end with his backstory. Season 2 will reportedly end with a choice, one that forces him to pick between his old self, the one who thrived on manipulation and chaos, and the possibility of something else. Redemption? Maybe. But more likely, power redefined. He may never be a hero, but he could become something else entirely. Something unexpected. The leak teases a moment near the finale where Alastor goes silent. No broadcast, no grin, just silence. And for a character built entirely around noise, that moment might say everything. Whatever he says, whatever decision he makes, it will shape the seasons to come. Angel Dust, Husk, Nifty, and the rest of the hotel's staff are also not just background players. Each will reportedly get their own arcs, tied directly into Hell's transformation. Season 3 is said to explore Husk's mysterious connection to an ancient entity. Angel Dust may become the symbol of the hotel's success or its downfall, depending on where his arc goes. Nifty's loyalty will be tested. And a new character rumored to arrive late in Season 2 could be the one to unlock the true nature of the hotel itself. This character, whose identity is still tightly under wraps, is described as the guest who was never meant to check in. And when they arrive, everything changes. Even Lucifer, who has remained a shadowy figure throughout most of the series, will reportedly take center stage in Season 3. His true intentions, his connection to Charlie's mother, and his role in the structure of Hell's ruling system are all set to be explored. Is he an ally to Charlie's vision or the final obstacle? The answer may split the fandom. But one thing's for sure, Lucifer is not staying silent much longer. So, what does all this mean for Hazbin Hotel? It means we're standing at the edge of something massive. Season 2 is not the destination. It's the detonation. A carefully planned explosion of lore, emotion, conflict, and character evolution that sets the entire series into motion. And if Vivipop and her team pull this off, Hazbin Hotel won't just be an internet phenomenon, it'll become a defining story of this generation's animation era. Not just because of its bold storytelling, but because of its willingness to ask dangerous questions. Can the damned be saved? Or are they just trading one master for another? The future of Hazbin Hotel is layered, thrilling, and unpredictable. Season 2 is coming in, it's bringing Hell with it. But beyond that, we may be looking at a legacy in the making.